Hi, this is Ken's Ministries, and I'm going to talk about the love of God and how He loves us so much, and He'll do things for us. And when God talks to us, we better listen. And the first one I was going to talk about was when David was working for DeLong Company, and he was working for DeLong Company, and that was just at the edge of Clinton, where he was working. And I came home from work that day, and it was payday, so I went down to the bank and to put my money in the bank. And while I was sitting there and in the drive-through place in the bank, well, Dave's boss, Bo DeLong, pulled up alongside of me in a pickup truck, and he actually pulled up beside me in a pickup truck. But then he said to me, I thought he said to me that, sorry to hear about David. And I said, what about David? And he said, said he was up on one of our silos, and said he fell off of it 40 feet down to the ground, and he got killed. And I was just ready to pull out of there, and I was just imagining him saying that, and I thought, what in the world am I thinking negative thoughts like that? He's okay, you know. And I pulled out, and so I started to go home, and I went past DeLong Company as I went his silos out there, DeLong's silos that had corn in, and I heard this still small voice in my head that said, pray for David. And what in the world do I have to pray for David for? And it said, pray for David. And it was very demanding. And okay, if I'm supposed to pray for David, as I went driving past the silos, I said, well, Lord, you know what it's all about, so I'm going to pray that he'll be okay, that you'll take care of him. And so I never thought any more about it, and I drove ahead home. And when David got done work, he come home, and he getting ready to go somewhere, so he went in and took a shower, and when he got done, he come out, and he said, Dad, he said, I almost didn't come home. And I said, oh? I said, why, what happened? And he said, well, we got done with the corn, and there's a bunch of the chaff and stuff up on top of the silo. And so Bo told me to go up there and take a 2-inch fire hose and go up there and wash all of the chaff off of the top of the silos. And it was a closed top on the silo. And so he said, I went up on the top of the thing there, and he said I started to hose the thing off, and the pressure from the hose pushed me back. And he said I almost fell off of the top of the silo, but something. It felt like something pushing me on my back so that I didn't fall off and until I shut the hose off and I went forward. Then I caught myself, and I said, "What time was that, David?" And he said, "Well, it was about 2 o'clock when he told me to take the hose up there and everything." And so I hooked up the hose and took it up there and everything. It was probably about 3 o'clock by the time I got ready to turn the water on. And I said, "It was about 3 o'clock?" And he said, "Yep." And I said, "Well," I said, "I was going past there about 3 o'clock. I was driving past, and this little voice told me to pray for you. And so I prayed for you, and I just said, take care of David, whatever the problem is." And so I said, "God told me to pray for you." And so I did, about 3 o'clock. And he said that was just about the time that I was about to fall off of there when I turned the water on and it pushed me back, and I shut it off. Then when I felt this pressure on my back holding me up there, and David says, "Wow," says, "Dad," says, "you must have saved my life." And I said, "No." I said, "God told me to pray for you, and so I prayed for you, and then he did what he had to do to save you, and so he's the one that saved you." And that was what happened with David. And so next week I'll tell you about Randy and how God saved him, and God talked to him too. So listen in next week. God bless.